Yeah.
Okay.
Hear me now, yeah.
What's good? Good to see you, boy.
Yeah, you too, Trav.
Severe. Yo, yo, this is Peter over there. If you see PDG, he's the one that made me do all this podcast crap. You got Crystal D down there. She joined in with us after like the second show, I think, because she was a guest at one of the shows, and we liked her. She liked us. She wanted to be part of it, so here she is. And there's one other person. Is she in the waiting room, Peter? Sarita?
No, actually, Antoine came in twice, so no.
Okay.
Well, there's another person, but she may be busy. But I'm gonna introduce y'all to him. This is my man from high school, Hempstead High.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he's been up to good things. He got the bully experience, little program thing going on. He got a book out. I got the book, by the way, Antoine. I got it for my son.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I bought it when you first put it out, I bought it off of Amazon. And I don't know what you got in there, but he be dying laughing. When he was reading the book, he was like laughing all through the. I was like, "What's in there?" He's like,
hold on. First off, how old is your son?
He's gonna be 11. At the time when he got the book, he was like 9. He was like 9 then.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was in it, because well,
I'm about to tell you. Oh man.
But yeah, just tell everybody about what you're doing and what you got going on with the whole bully experience thing, how it came about. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I followed you on Instagram since you started it, and just tell the story and where you're at now with it. And I think that'll be a good thing for the people to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we would absolutely love to hear that, Antoine.
All right. How you doing, Peter and Crystal?
Hey.
Okay. So, wow. It's a long story, but I'll try to make it as brief as possible. So, after I graduated college, I spent a good amount of years in finance because I'm good at selling. So I sold insurance, mutual funds, annuities, you name it. I was good at selling. But right around September 11th or after September 11th, I'm trying to remember, a huge portion of my clients lost their jobs, and some of the money that they had invested with me, they had to use to supplement their income. So that cost me, I think, about $10,000 commission in a matter of 2 weeks. And I made a decision then. I was like, no, if I want to start a family, I need to make sure that this doesn't happen to me again. So I went to school for a master's in education, and then I also went to school for a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. So at the same time, I figure I get the CFP, I become a salaried employee of these companies, and teaching will be my backup. So after a couple of years of teaching, once I finished the CFP program, by the way, hardest thing I've ever done was the CFP courses, by the way. It made the education courses a cakewalk. But with that being said, once I finished the CFP courses and I got my little certificate, it was time for the board certification, which was gonna take like 2-3 months out of my life. And that's when I decided that I didn't really wanna go back to finance, because as a teacher, I got actually used to working with decent people. Because teachers for the most part are, good people. Sometimes. And in finance, finance, outside of myself, it was the one woman in every office that was really trying to do right by the client. Everybody else was just trying to make as much money as possible, So I started teaching, but at the same time, I was trying to see what was my bigger purpose. Travis, we used to rap in high school, right? We used to rap in high school, and I remember even in high school, my producers thought we were great writers and thought that we should stay in the lab and just write for all these people that need material. But I'm Haitian. I couldn't tell my parents that. I couldn't tell my parents I'm not going to college. I'm gonna sit in the studio and write. No, no, not happening. So, but it was always inside of me, you know, like producing, writing, it was always inside of me. So then I began writing for some producers, and I started playing with some software to produce. And then those producers I was writing R&B for, they said that, wow, what you learned to do in 6 months is better than some producers we've been working with for 5 years. So I was like, what does that mean? What are you trying to tell me? So they was like, you should produce. So then I started producing very hard. And for some reason, every time I was on the precipice of really breaking through, because everybody liked my stuff. I even had Grammy Award writers sending me people to produce for because they thought my stuff was hot. But every time I got a chance to break through, family priorities derailed it. And if you guys are married or have kids or whatever, I think you guys will know what I'm talking about. Because
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so because music was a me thing, and family things supersede me things, you know.
That's why I had to start rapping at a certain age.
Yeah, so what happened? I had to sit there and think, like, okay, what can I do with my abilities where music can be a family thing, not a me thing? So I came up with this idea where I was going to write educational songs and create the lessons, write the educational song. And then my brother-in-law was like, yeah, you should write a children's book as well to go along with the lesson and the song. So I was like, okay, all right, sounds okay. So in the process of doing all of this, I wrote 4 children's books. I haven't published them yet because it's not important right now. There's other things that I'm doing that are more important. And then in the process, I ended up writing this bully experience novel.
There it is.
And the motivation behind it was because first I created the character. First, it was originally a children's book. And then the art teacher who created the characters with me was like, these aren't characters for a children's book, my friend. This looked like a series. So I'm saying like, yeah, you're kind of right, my dude. But it's a children's book. So then I started thinking, because my wife also spoke to another educator who was fond of what I was doing. He was like, hey, why don't you tell your husband to write like a multicultural version of the Diary of the Wimpy Kid? So all of that started spinning in my head. And I was like, I wonder if I could take this children's book, The Bully Experience, turn it into a chapter novel. But I have no interest in writing a chapter novel. So I'm like, so the only thing that made me really want to write a chapter novel was I was like, hold on, maybe if I make the whole chapter novel rhyme, it would be like writing a lengthy song. So, and it's never been done. Like a whole chapter novel outside of Shakespeare, of course. I was like, man, that'd be cool. That'd be a challenge. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I can do it. So I tested out with the first chapter, and then I let the most trusted educators I know read the first chapter to see what they thought. And it was like, this is fire. I was like, you really think so? Like, yeah. So then I was like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. But once the novel was done, it wasn't enough. It was like, hold on. I've been an educator for so long. I haven't been part of any anti-bullying curriculum. I wrote a whole anti-bullying novel, but I've never been part of any anti-bullying curriculum. I've never been part of any anti-bullying initiative, none of that. And I thought it was time. I thought it was time for me to go a little bit deeper. And the reason why I haven't was because when I first started teaching, I did all the creative, cool stuff. And educators know, once administration see all the stuff that you can do, boy, they use the holy crap out of you. Okay, you're not doing this, that, this. I was going to the district, giving presentations to the network. I was like, now this is too much. So I started keeping some of my talents under wrap a little bit, because I had a family. Now I have 4 kids now. I'm married, so
Wow.
yeah. So do that much. Yeah, to do that much at the school, it would take too much time from the family. But then once the novel was done, I felt it was time for me to do a little bit more. And so I started doing some things for the school, and it was like, oh, and one teacher was like, oh, the principal would like this done like I was like, all right, no problem, I got it. And then so I created a little some lessons or whatever on bullying, all kinds of stuff, and then I showed it to the principal, and we don't have the best relationship, so when he was so he was like so he wanted to do it right away. So I was like, you can't just do these lessons without the proper planning. Like you really can't just do that. So I'm gonna make a long story short, real quick. Once I understood, because the administration wanted my help at that point to try to bring in an anti-bullying program. So I'm like, hey, no problem. So I started doing research. Trying to find which anti-bullying program will work for our population. We're talking about inner city kids, Black, Spanish, right? So Hispanic, Latino. So what kind of program would work for them? Because where I come, the way nothing light is going to work. It has to be impactful, because the way we came up with, everybody got roasted. Bullying was a rites of passage then. Okay. Yeah, it isn't now. And
so Antoine, were you actually bullied? Were you bullied when you were younger? Was there a particular bully?
I was bullied big time when I was in elementary school, because I'm Haitian, so
Sac passe, by the way. Sac passe.
Yeah, sac passe, now boule.
Don't ask how he knows that. That's another story, but yeah. Because he's Italian.
You know what? Speaking of bullies, that is a whole other story.
So in elementary school, I got bullied for being Haitian, right? And not to mention, Haitians, they don't care about American styles, traditions. They don't care about none of that. So my mother had me going to school in slacks, penny loafers, bow tie, sweater, briefcase.
Like Wycliffe Jean.
Wycliffe got the same story? I think he did say something.
He said he used to walk around with cowboy boots and a hat and all this stuff when he came over from Haiti through Jersey and whatnot. And he always had like a guitar with him. And yeah, so you know.
Yeah, my mother had me looking like I was coming straight from the office or going to the office. Yeah, so I used to get the business for that. And in junior, but that was Uniondale. Then in junior high and high school, I was in Hempstead. It was a little different then. Hempstead was a lot rougher than Uniondale. Right? And everybody got the business store in Hempstead. It don't matter who you were. Everybody got the business. So so this is where I started using my creative abilities to crack jokes back. So I had to become one of them funny dudes. So yeah. So Hempstead was. See, I wasn't like Travis. Everybody likes Travis. Nobody. I didn't meet that
Ain't
one.
true. That ain't true.
No, I didn't meet not one person that didn't like Travis. Me on the
I
other
agree
hand,
with you. I totally agree with you because
I
we
really
went to junior
I
high
didn't
school.
know that.
I agree with you because Travesty and I went to junior high school together. Everybody
Yeah.
loved the guy. Everybody loved him.
Yeah, because you know, I
Absolutely.
didn't come to Hempstead till 10th grade. So, you know what I'm saying? But I knew a lot of the people from Hempstead because I'm from Hempstead. So, but I didn't realize nobody didn't like me. I don't know. I don't know.
No, you didn't. My friend, I swear, everyone that I knew liked Travis. Me on the other hand, not so much. I was a fake pretty boy, right?
I do remember people saying that. Pretty boy wannabe. I know what's wrong. What you talking about? He was regular to me. And he wanted to get out the pretty boy. All right, whatever.
I mean, I didn't quite fit in Hempstead, but Hempstead was good for me. I tell you the truth, a lot of the thugs in Hempstead, a lot of the dudes that ain't like me wanted to kill me. I think the only reason why they didn't kill me because one of the OG thugs had a crush on my sister. Had a crush on my sister, and I think he told all the dudes in my grade and maybe a grade higher was like, nah, leave the little homie alone. Leave the little homie alone, cause yeah, it was. You know who liked me?
Know this.
You
owe a lot to your sister.
What happened?
You owe a lot to your sister.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know until way after high school and college. My sister told me this. I didn't know. I thought I survived Hempstead on my own merit. Oh man, I saw a lot of dudes that didn't survive Hempstead. I saw a lot of dudes running in a schoolyard for their lives. Woo.
I seen it too. I know.
Yeah. So I got my fair share. So to make a long story short, I couldn't find an anti-bullying program that was going to be impactful for Black and brown students. Mm-hmm. So I drew up an outline for an anti-bullying curriculum, for an anti-bullying program. And I took it to the people, the educators that I trusted. And I was like, what do you think? This is what I envision an anti-bullying program to have that would really impact our kids. What do you think? And all the smartest educators I knew was like, yeah, you're right. This is exactly what we need. So then I turned to my wife. I was like, should I make a pitch to the principal about creating the whole anti-bullying program? You know how much time it's gonna take, right? You know how it's gonna affect my family time, right? She was like, "Oh no, this be perfect. You should do it, this and that." I was like, "Okay." Okay. Because remember, the whole goal, especially when I was doing music, was how do I turn my creative production, songwriting, how do I take those abilities and turn it into a family thing, not just a me thing? And there you have it. You have the novel, you have the workbook for the anti-bullying program. Right now, I'm actually working on the teacher's manual for the anti-bullying program because right now it's just for my school. But prior to the pandemic, I was doing some networking events just to let people know that the book exists, like the novel exists. But I would also have the workbook next to me, just, and just to show, a lot of the teachings come from the anti-bullying program. And all the educators was like, can I buy this book? I'm like, no, chill. What do you mean chill? We need this in my book. We need this in my school in Brooklyn. We need this in my school in Queens. I'm like, well, what? It's just a workbook. But teachers think they can make anything work. So teachers were trying to buy the workbook and trying to use it. I'm like, no, there's guided notes. So without a teacher's manual, you're not going to know what the blanks are. So you have to give me some time to create a teacher's manual for you guys. You're like, okay, hurry up. So that was right before the pandemic. Teachers were putting the pressure on me to create the teacher's manual for it. So that's where I'm at. I'm 50% done with the teacher's manual. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So yeah, that's why there's a lot more interviews I could be doing, but I'm so busy creating that I haven't had the time to take advantage of all the different interviews that I could have. But Travis is different. It's like, it's Trav. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Say no to me? No.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. But I'm busy creating. Like, I'm halfway through this. No, I'm lying. I'm writing the second chapter now of the second novel, because it's a series. Every character is going to have their own book.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's a series. So I'm on the second chapter of the novel. I'm halfway through the teacher's manual. So there's 4 children's books that I also have to put out that I'm holding back on. I'm writing tons of articles on my website to help the people in need. So the kids in the anti-bullying program could have an extra resource. So they could read an article and like, oh, so you do this and you do that and then you do this, because I don't cover everything in the anti-bullying program. Like, there's kids that need to work on their confidence. I don't teach them on building confidence in the anti-bullying program. You know, there's just too much to teach. Teaching self-love. There's plenty of kids that need to be taught self-love, but I don't teach that in an anti-bullying program. So by writing all these articles, it gives them another resource to pretty much get the help that they need. So, and at the end of the day, I started realizing all along this was my purpose. Now it made sense why every time I was on a precipice of breaking through music, something derailed it, because now I realize I was never meant to be a great music producer. I was meant to do something bigger than that, which is help people, like really help children. Yeah.
That's great. What's the website?
The bullyexperiencemovement.com.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you gotta have that on Instagram if you want. Give your Instagram name and whatnot so people can follow it. Because we got a few followers. I don't know if you know this, we got a few followers for this podcast we got here. You know what I'm saying?
On Instagram, it's the Bully Experience Movement. On Facebook, it's the Bully Experience Movement. On TikTok, mind you, I only had a TikTok for about 3 weeks now.
I noticed. I see you experimenting things. I don't have one at all, man. I don't have one at all.
So on TikTok, it's just the Bully Experience. It's just the Bully Experience.
My kids basically turned around and were like, yeah, you're not cool enough to have a TikTok, Pop. That's what they said to me. Like, I understand.
Bro, honestly,
to Facebook,
honestly, I'm not cool enough. I wasn't cool enough to have a TikTok either. I was forced. Okay, there's an educator at the school that knows me pretty well and knows all the things that I do. Oh my God, she's like, no, you have to get a TikTok. I'm like, no, isn't it for young people and kids? Like, this is not for me. You have to get TikTok. You're creative, right?
Relate to them.
Like, creative, right? TikTok is perfect for you. Your creative TikTok is for creative people. I'm like, all right, I'll think about it. Then I get home to my 18-year-old daughter, who's a freshman in college now. I go, Chloe, I got a educator I'm close with beat me in the head about TikTok. She's saying I should do it. What do you think? She's like, yeah, Dad, you should do a TikTok.
Oh.
I think you're TikTok worthy. You know what I'm saying? I know the background. I think you would be good with it. I just don't, I just hadn't looked at it myself because I don't know what I'd be doing it for. But I think it'll be good for you and what you're doing.
Same
Yeah,
thing here, bro.
definitely.
I agree on that. You definitely do that with TikTok. You got to, especially with what's happening with the bullies out there.
Mhm.
And now it's more of
Yep.
a cyber-bully situation more than anything else. And according to some of the stats with this pandemic, bullying cyber-wise has gone up even more.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. So you got to get on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on there. I'm on there big now. One thing I refuse to do is I can't post 3, 4, 5 times a day like everybody else know. I can
Yeah, I
post
hear
one,
that.
maybe twice. But because there's way too much on my plate for me I can't, yeah. But
Have your students do it.
how do my students feel about it, you said?
No. Have your students do the posting for you.
Uh,
Mm.
well,
No, this.
well, it would have to be a high school student. I sixth grade. It would have to be a high school student. And in the past, I usually have a good relationship with the high school students. But even right now, though, there's very few students in the building because of COVID.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I'll tell you one thing though. A lot of students followed me on TikTok because of that, because of one of my TikTok videos. So yeah. So they know about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the ones I saw, man. They were pretty cool. And like I said, you seem to be doing good with it.
I haven't seen any of them. I want to see, so I can hardly wait to see it.
And,
we'll definitely follow them.
Look, you got paraphernalia of the bully experience too, right? I see you got a shirt on there.
Oh,
that look kind of dope. I think I want one of those.
No,
Yeah,
they're definitely fire.
okay.
Yeah, I like that too. How much are they?
You can get them on Amazon. How much are they? 25, I would say, something like that.
25 for t-shirt. You got hoodies?
I have hoodies on Printful. I do have hoodies. They're all on the website, actually.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out too.
Yeah, I haven't really pushed any merchandise. I'm creating them, but I haven't really pushed it because it's really not my focus. It's just the content. And the thing about it is the merchandise is a whole nother animal in itself.
Yes, it is.
Because each character,
you gotta have things.
Yeah. It's because each character, so it's 12 characters and they each got to have their own t-shirt.
Right.
So this is the main bully. So I have 4 different t-shirts from 4 different characters. So I gotta create 12 t-shirts. It's a lot of work.
Let me ask a quick question regarding regarding what makes a bully a bully. I mean, we all know back in the day, a lot of times bullies would feel inferior about themselves. They had no self-confidence. So, hey, I'm a big guy. Let me pick on the little guy and make myself feel better. Does that still hold true today?
Yes, but believe it or not, what I've realized is we all come from some form of dysfunction. And so we all have a bit of healing that we need to do. So I believe we all got a little bully inside of us. Some of us more than others. And depending on what you're going through at the time, it's very easy for someone who's not a bully to be a bully. Okay. So my thing is just trying to teach everybody on how to heal and how to pretty much reverse the imbalance of power that exists in these bullying situations. But yes, so here's the thing: the balance of power exists. Yes, if you're bigger than somebody, right, you have an advantage. If you are smarter than somebody, you have an advantage. If you're stronger, you have an advantage. So the imbalance of power is all about whatever advantage that you have, you actually use it to overpower someone. Okay, so if you're bigger than somebody, right, you try to intimidate them. If you're stronger than somebody, you try to beat them up or whatever. If you're smarter than somebody, then you try to outsmart them and really set their downfall. If you're more popular than somebody, then you try to get everybody against that person.
Right.
Or if you're funnier than someone, then you roast them until you know what I'm saying. So it's whatever advantages you have, you take that advantage and you really use it to overpower somebody else. That's really
forms of bullying. Yeah.
And we all have something. We all have something that we're good at better than somebody else. We all have that thing. You know what I mean? So, which actually, I actually did that in the novel. What I showed was, I tried to show the delicate balance between being a victim and the bully. Okay, so if we're all victims of, if we all have some kind of abuse or neglect that has happened in our lives in some shape or form, then it's all about our choices, right? Mm-hmm. So in the novel, all the kids that were getting bullied, they flipped the script on the bully. Mm-hmm. They pretty much used their talents. Some kids can draw. So they were drawing funny caricatures of the bullies. Right. So in the novel, I have every single last one of those kids that were getting bullied. They came together and then they used every talent that they had collectively to get back at the bullies. But they're the ones that ended up getting in trouble because times have changed. Like you do something, you become the bully. So doing the things that the bullies do, even though they were bullying you first, you become the bully as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's very important to speak up. So speaking up is very important, which is the first thing I tell students, because listen, you need to make sure that this kid is really trying to bully you and not just cracking jokes and having fun and didn't really meant to hurt your feelings. You need to be clear, like, yo, listen, stop. I don't like this. This kind of hurt. And then if they keep up, then I hit them with the next level of the strategies. Right. But first, you need to establish, like, oh, is this person really trying to hurt me, or he's just being a funny kid. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I know how the bully's mind works. Reading it one time in one book is not going to be enough. Right. They need the continuous lesson over and over again. So if I keep recycling this knowledge in novel after novel after novel, it might really make a difference. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I think it's absolutely great what you're doing. I do.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I've had an issue with a bully of mine. Luckily, I didn't have too many issues because I had an older brother who occasionally would help me. But I've dealt with it. And Crystal, I remember you talking about back in the day, Crystal D, your family was well known about fighting bullies. So I know you've had your experiences too. And Trav, we've had our experiences back at junior high school together.
In Lou High?
Yeah.
I didn't have no problems in Lou High.
Yo, Trav
High.
Problems.
No. But here's the thing. Trav never had a problem. Trav never had a problem per se, but at the same time, Trav would hang out with certain bullies.
I used to hang out with bullies?
Yeah, because a lot of people thought I was a bully. You know what, Antoine, I want to put something out there. I want to put something out there, Antoine, really quickly. There's a difference between being a bully and someone who's just rowdy. And when you brought that up about just having fun at people's expenses,
I ain't gonna lie, we all did that. I mean, I did.
Antoine, there it is, man.
But I'm like you, Anthony, though. If I saw Antoine, if I seen them feeling a certain way, I think I would stop. I don't know about Peter, but I would stop. You know what I'm saying? But also, in the school we went to, some of them had thick skin and they would go back and forth with us, but it was just a fun thing. I wasn't trying to really hurt anybody like that. But Peter, I don't know. But
well, let me tell you, it all started with a mother joke, and once you made it, that was it. It just kept going.
But that's what little boys do. That's
your mama this, your mama
like
that.
you said, it's a difference. It is a difference when you initially trying to really hurt somebody, and boys just being boys and doing it. But you got to understand when that one kid that may not be able to take it, you got to know when to let up. So that's I get that. Yeah.
But you see that is a learned skill. Being able to assess someone else where you're like, okay, I can't crack these jokes because this person can't handle it. That is a learned skill. That takes practice. Okay. Adults have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Adults still to this day. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Which is why one of the biggest, one of the units in the anti-bullying program is the empathy unit. Okay. So because empathy, some of us are naturally have a little bit more empathy than others, but for the most part, it's a learned skill that you can definitely improve. And building your empathy skills really helps you gauge like, oh, I need to fall back. I don't think this person can handle it. Because trust me, I have matter of fact, I'm still friends with so many adults that have complexes from so many jokes.
That's true. That's true. And as a kid, you don't think about that at all. You just, not thinking about 20 years later, they still going to be like, well, in 1988, you said this to me and I've never been the same since. And then you'd probably be like, damn, I didn't mean to do all that. You know what I'm saying? But it affects certain people like that. So yeah, you're right.
I'm glad you brought that up, Trev. I'm glad because I already know that there are some high school kids back when we were in wherever, Lehigh, whatever. I know there's some guys waiting to zing me from all the shit I've said to them. I already know it's coming. And Trev, you got it. You and I both know certain ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Antoine, let me ask you this. What can we do to diffuse a bullying type of situation? You know, what can we do with that? Because I'm a parent, and I got two boys, and it's the machismo's inside of them. But what can we do to kind of diffuse that?
Okay, all right. First of all, don't make the mistake that I did earlier on in my parenting life before this whole anti-bullying program. The way we grew up, right, was okay. Somebody's messing with you, you either roast them. Right. Beat them up, or what was the other one? You roast them, you beat them up, or you tell a teacher, but if you tell a teacher, it's gonna keep on happening.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Right, it's gonna make it worse. So that's how we grew up. So you either become the funny dude or you go beat up the bully, right? So early on, I tried to give my son, who's 14 years old now, I tried to give him that advice. Was it when he was 6 or 7? 6, 7, or 8, one of those. Some kid was picking on him. I was like, go roast that kid. Don't worry, I'm gonna help you with the jokes. I gave him some material. Like, yeah, here you go. And then he went to school, roasted a kid, got in trouble. And who got in trouble when my wife found out about it?
You.
I got in trouble.
Dad gave me these jokes.
So now, and I have another son who got, anyway. So here's what I teach in my anti-bullying program, which works. Okay. I don't teach kids to be violent unless they have to defend themselves physically from physical harm. Okay. So first and foremost, if somebody put their hands on your child have to know how to defend themselves.
Yep.
Okay. Because your child cannot sit there and just let somebody whoop on them. Okay. Sometimes there's no adult around. So he's going to sit there and just get pounded. So it's very important to teach your child how to defend himself or how to run away. Okay.
Or run.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or how to run away, because you can't sit there and let somebody pound on you. Okay. It's not intelligent to do so.
Yeah, you can't do
With that being said, okay, Roasting the bully doesn't necessarily work either because of because how the laws of reciprocity works. And what that is the law of reciprocity is similar to the laws of attraction. Sorry, it's very similar to the laws of attraction, but the law of reciprocity is really focuses on your action. So what that means is, right, if this kid is roasting you, right, you roast him worse than you than what he did to you. He may fall back. He may fall back. But what you don't realize, what we don't realize, is some way, somehow, what we did, that aggression that we show towards the bully is going to come back to us. The reason why we don't realize it is because it's never right away. And we don't see, and we never see the connection. So for instance, that bully that we warded off may end up going, we're likely going to bully somebody else. Mm-hmm. That other person they bully may take their aggression out on somebody that you care about, or they may take their aggression out on you, or may shoot up the school because they
nowadays. Yeah.
So some way, somehow, that aggression you showed the bully will come back to you. It's just most people, when the aggression comes back, they don't make the connection that, oh, it was because I did this. They never make that connection. So they think they handle their business, when actuality, no. So here's what I recommend, okay? What I recommend, first and foremost, they have to communicate, stop, I don't like it. Once they've established that with the bully, that, you know, this is not something that they like and that is hurting their feelings, and it continues, now you can bring it to attention of an adult, but that usually makes it worse, right? But there are anonymous ways now of reporting bullying where it does not come back to you. Okay, like there's anonymous reporting apps. There's apps where you could report bullying anonymously. You know what I'm saying? And then right. Okay, so but if your child doesn't want to go to the authorities, if they want to take care of it themselves, which to me is the best way, because it builds confidence, it builds a sense of resiliency in the child. First and foremost, since bullying is about an imbalance of power, you have to reverse that imbalance of power. So the bully's job is to pretty much control how you feel and control your behavior. That's the goal of the bully. So how do you reverse that? Well, you do not react emotionally. You do not do the things physically that they want you to do. So pretty much you start off with being stoic. Okay? If they're cracking a joke, you just do not react. Like if you're like, oh, do not react. Okay, so that's the first thing. Try to be as stoic as possible. Do not show that anything is hurting you. Just be stoic with your emotions and with your actions. Just be very even keel. Okay, that's one way. Another way is if the child wants to speak, then your responses could either be neutral or positive. Okay, so here's the thing. So you can't say like, yo, I hate you, oh, you stupid. No. You could be like, okay, is that all you got? Right. You can say that. That's neutral. They're not getting a reaction out of you. Or you can go positive, because bullies don't know how to react to the positive. Like, thank you. Love you too, baby. And they're like, what?
That didn't go as planned. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. Keep it going. You're awesome. Wow, man, you're brilliant. Keep that up. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? You can kill them with kindness or give them or respond positively. They don't know how to react to that. Okay. Because it totally undermines their objective. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's another option? Oh, there's another strategy that works. I'm just looking at this time to see if we have more. Another strategy that works which I learned it from 8 Mile. Everybody saw 8 Mile, right? Who didn't see
I was
it?
just thinking of that. Flipped it back on him.
All right, okay, so
Oh, wait.
you pretty much crack
Joke
jokes
about yourself.
Well,
About this.
crack jokes on yourself. If you know what they're gonna say, you say it before they say it.
Then they have nothing to say.
Guess what?
I was thinking of that.
Right. And guess what? A student used that against me, right? So, for instance, right, this was like 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. Now, I wasn't roasting the student. This was a 6th grade student, right? She put her name. Oh, let me make sure I get I get the information correct. Okay, she put her name where I think where the subject should be, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to remember. So when I'm going through the attendance, all right, that's the story. Sorry. So when we're grading the papers, right? She puts social studies instead of her name, right? So we thought it was funny. She didn't put her name, she just put social studies. So then when I'm going through the attendance every day, right? Just to mess with her for doing that, instead of calling her by her name, I just say social studies. Social studies. So now after doing that 2, maybe 3 times, right? On the 3rd or 4th time, before I even get to her name, she goes, social studies. Totally took my power away. That was the last time I did it because it wasn't fun anymore.
Man, bully you.
It wasn't funny no more.
Got you, man. She got you.
It wasn't funny no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was something light. It was something light. Like it didn't bother her. Like, you know, it was something light, but it was a prime example. And then the funny thing about it afterwards, because she wasn't in my anti-bullying program yet. My anti-bullying program started about 3 weeks to a month after the incident. So I went up to her, right? Her name was Susan. I could mention her name. She's awesome. Susan, awesome. I was like, yo, Susan, how did you learn how to do that? She's like, oh, Mr. L, I used to get bullied a lot in elementary school. So I had to find different things to try to do to survive. I was like, say word. Say word. Yeah. Yeah, Susan. Susan was awesome.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, man, that is absolutely dope, man. That is dope. Really.
Oh, one last strategy. I'm sorry. One last strategy. The very last strategy. The very last strategy I tell the kids is if you are getting bullied, don't think you're the only one. Okay? There are strength in numbers. Like if you can't do all the other strategies, find other kids who are being bullied just like you by this kid. Okay? Get together. Okay? If you go seek help together, they don't see it as snitching anymore. Now it's more like protesting, or now it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go by this thing of like, oh, you snitch, da, 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 da. But if it's 5, 6, 7 of you going to the authorities, it's a different optic. You know what I'm saying? So that's the last thing I tell. Listen, if you're not ready to do all these other things, then find someone else, a couple of other people who are going through what you're going through, or who this other kid is bullying, whatever, and you guys get together and then go to the authorities then. Okay? And I'll stop there because
man,
well, I got to tell you, man, that was great. You have a great concept, man. And you know what? I wish I could have known about that back when I was growing up and getting involved with bullying and fighting and all of that. Who knows? Maybe I'd be a different type of student.
I appreciate you saying that, my friend. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. We really appreciate
I'm proud of you,
man.
man. Proud of my boy, Ed.
Yeah, you know what, Trav? That means a lot coming from you, my friend. That means a You've always been an awesome dude. You too, man. Look, we were supposed to collaborate on a record or something. We never got to do it. Oh yeah, you're right. We were supposed to be lyrical assassins. That was your idea too. Get your boy, and I get G. We'll get together. We'll have a joint called Lyrical Assassins. We never got to do it.
I remember.
Your memory is so good.
Yeah, I even put it in one of my rhymes. I was like, lyrical assassins, and we're blasted, never missing in action. Yeah. And I let you hear that demo. I don't know if you remember now, but it was called Powerful Impact. Yeah. Anyway.
You're ringing a bell, yo. What's up with your memory? How do you remember? Oh, my God.
That's dope. We got to get in the studio. I was like, yo, I'll put it in there. Lyrical assassins. We got to do it. But, you know, we graduated and yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Yo, it was good to catch up, kid.
You too.
We gotta do a better job at staying in contact and stuff like that.
We do. Because you know Rob lives down here. Rob Blunt.
What?
Yeah, because me and him, we speak a lot. We see each other once in a blue moon, but he's more of a phone person. He like getting on the phone, and sometimes Rob talks so long, he don't ever get off the phone. I'd be like, all right, Rob, I'll speak to you later.
Yeah, I think he feels I gave him shade because he just wants me to call him, and I don't have time to really just be talking on the phone like that.
Rob will talk you down.
So I told him something about just hit me up on the gram or just hit me with a message something. But I think like you said, he'd rather just talk on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't have.
I'm not a big phone person either, but it's Rob, and he'd be like, "What you doing?" I'd be like, chilling. You ain't doing nothing. Next thing I know, he's talking about high school and you, bringing up you. I'm like, yeah. But that's another story, man. Our time is going. But yeah, I'm telling you, Rob, he's cool, though. He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Okay. That's good to hear.
You know what? I got to tell you, it's that magic time. So, Antoine, thank you so much for coming on and sharing the knowledge of bullying and how to get rid of it.
Guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, listen, we will definitely list your website on our website and go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you're doing it yet, but if you're not following it on Instagram already, just follow the U.S. Roundtable and
We'll do. I think I did, but I'll make sure. Yeah.
And this will probably be posted in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and you can look at it if you want to.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it, man.
All right, man. It was good, man. It was good times, man. Good times. See you guys later.
All right, and
bye.
All right.
Yeah.
That was dope, man. Wow.
That was good. That was so much information. I had nothing. I was like, wow, he's doing good things, especially for the kids.
He is.
Yeah, he sure
I love
is.
it. Mm-hmm.
Crystal, I thought you were going to bring up how your family was very known around the community about bullying and how your family would handle it their own way.
I wanted him to give as much information because I was actually soaking it in because my sister dealt with that and she's only 12. So, I was just taking it in. But maybe we'll have him back and we could all talk about our experiences with bullying and stuff like that and see his take on it.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. What a great idea. I would love to have him on again. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trav, you could set that up?
Yeah. Whenever y'all are ready to have him back, I guess we'll wait a little while and see where he gets or what he does in the next maybe couple of months or something. I don't know. But yeah, we can now. I'm pretty sure he'll do it.
And the book's working. The book's working out with your son. He likes it. He's enjoying it.
He's been. I mean, like I said, it's been almost 2 years. He might have finished it by now. We had it for a while, but I know when he was reading it, he was just cracking up through the whole thing, and I was like, I wonder what's in there. So
I'm gonna buy the book. Yeah, for my sister.
I'm gonna buy the book too. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've all dealt with bullies in our entire life. We've all dealt with them. And they suck. We know bullies suck, but a lot of times they're just a bunch of unhappy kids, I mean, they don't And that was one thing my parents used to say, well, before you go and tear the guy's head off, find out what his home life is like.
Yeah, he's just jealous of you, or something like that. What my parents would say if something happened, but.
Yeah, but I don't know if they were ever really jealous of anybody, but except for you,
Trevor.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know.
No, I think females. It's more females. They get jealous.
Yeah,
that's how the bullying starts. Is with the girls.
Oh,
it's jealousy.
Female bullies.
Well, I had a lot of toys, so I don't know. My parents might have been right.
Oh, and that too. If you have,
I don't like you, Travis. Well, what did I do? You got all the He-Mans. I don't like you. They wouldn't say that, but that's probably what it was a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Look, one of my friends stole one of my Matchbox cars, man. And he was older than me too. And for some reason he would not physically bully me, but sometimes he would say stuff. And my mother sometimes would be like, "You're older than him. Why would you say these things?" And all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's another story.
It's funny you say that though, because first of all, Crystal, let me just say one thing about Trav back in high school. And Antoine was right. Everybody loved him. Everybody absolutely loved him, for real.
I don't know if that's
I don't know what used to go on the bus on the way home, Trav, because I wasn't on your bus on the way home.
I mean, people didn't hate me. I'm not going to say that. I just didn't know it was like that, though, that everybody liked me. I don't know.
Everybody.
That might be true. I just never looked at it that way.
But I got to admit one thing. I am guilty of, definitely making fun of people. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that.
We did that at Lou High.
Oh,
we did.
That school was...
You know why we did it, though. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. It was privilege versus non-privilege.
Okay, that's what it was. We were jealous of them. That's what it was.
It was revolution, baby. It was revolution.
So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was our reason. Well, I'm not going to say the name, but if so-and-so would have came to us, Peter, and said, "Why you keep messing with me?" We could have said, "Well, because your father is the principal and you keep getting away with stuff."
That's right.
So, yeah, that's why we're saying this and doing
right.
it. That was
That's
our.
right.
If it wasn't for that, it might have not been that way.
Right. And
Not
only that,
a couple others, but you know.
Yeah, and his mother taught in the school. His mother taught in the school too, and he had immunity. That little prick.
Yeah, never got in trouble.
Never got in trouble. Never. But that was a Trav. You know what? That's a whole other show where we could really reminisce. You know what, Crystal? We're gonna bring on some people that shared our views in that school. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Trav, we could bring like 3/4 of the school in on that. Let me tell you.
We sure could, because everybody felt that way. So it wasn't like we were bad guys. So everyone felt that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 1,000% on that.
We still probably shouldn't have done
it. Oh man! Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? Great show. Yeah. Travesty, thank you for bringing him on. It was a great show.
Man. He's yeah.
So I'll tell you what. You know what? We'll start it off. We'll do the sign off. Everybody can go and get something to eat. We definitely went a little over time, but that's okay. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Starting with you, Crystal D.
All right. Peace and love, guys.
Peace and love.
Peace and love and all understanding. Peace. Everybody be safe. I'm not going to say a travesty because apparently everything is lax, but wear your mask anyway to be safe. Be safe, everyone. Travesty.
All right. And we are...